Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome inside Brent Brown Ballpark on the campus of Utah Valley University for the 2014 Class 5A State Championship game between Jordan and Pleasant Grove, as this one will decide, could decide the state championship. If the Jordan Beat Diggers win this one, they will be crowned the state champions. If Pleasant Grove should win, we would have one final game starting about 20 to 30 minutes after the conclusion of this one. The 4A state championship already decided that went to the Bountiful Braves, so their game, in which would have been if necessary at 5 o'clock, is not going to be needed, and so tentatively this one would be able to just play the regular doubleheader. Pleasant Grove will be the visiting team in this one, the team with one loss in the tournament. Jordan will be the home team. As we get set, ready to go for this one, let's set the starting lineups for you. First, for the visiting Pleasant Grove Vikings. Leading off, it will be the pitcher, number 9, Easton Walker. Ben Eldridge, the second baseman, will hit in the 2 spot. Peyton Henry behind home plate hits 3rd. Jade Smoot, the DH, will hit 4th. Braden Cox in left field hits 5th. Chase Merrill, the right fielder, will hit in the 6th spot. Brody Blackhurst at first base hits 7th. Zach Peterson in center field hitting 8th, and rounding out the order will be Matthew Wild, the shortstop, and will hit 9th for Pleasant Grove. Pleasant Grove going back tonight to Easton Walker after he threw a couple of innings in last night's game, and then they pulled him once they got the lead there early on in their win last night over Layton. So they'll go back to Easton Walker here. Let's give you the starting pitcher tonight for Jordan. It's going to be number 12, Colton Shaver, going to go to the mound, and he will be tasked with getting Jordan to the state title, as the Beat Diggers have taken the field here. We'll set the defense for you while Shaver takes his warm-up tosses. In the outfield, Cody Davis gets the start in left. It will be Cale Hathaway in center field and Morgan Gomez in right for Jordan. On the infield, Christian Bailey will get the start at 3rd. Drew Lisk will start at short. Parker Anderson at 2nd. Over at 1st will be Mason Hayes. Hayes had the home run in yesterday's ball game to right field. Behind the plate, it will be Mason Kruger, so he'll move from 3rd behind the plate, and of course Colton Shaver will be on the mound for Jordan. So, a cloudy, overcast day. It is a cool day here at Brent Brown Ballpark for Game 2 of our decisive state championship Friday afternoon. On this cool day, the wind has picked up and it's blowing at a relatively steady rate as we will get set for this one. Right now, here as we get set and get ready, a good turnout for this one, as the throw down to second base, and we are just about ready to start this one. Thank you for tuning in on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. I'm Ryan Pickens. I'll be calling the action for you today as Easton Walker is getting ready to stand in, and we will get set, ready to go. Pleasant Grove and Jordan for the 5A state championship for baseball this spring. Easton Walker stands in the box. Colton Shaver's ready to go, and he's going to deliver the first pitch of the ball game, which is going to be just off the plate for a ball, and we're underway with a 1-ball, no strike count on Easton Walker. Shaver once again set on the mound and delivers home the 1-0. That bounces in for a ball, and it's quickly 2 balls and no strikes. So once again, Pleasant Grove will go Walker, Eldridge, Henry, Smoot, Cox, and Merrill, Blackhurst, Peterson, and Wild, as the 2-0 pitch comes inside on the corner, and it sits for a called strike, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. The count to the Pleasant Grove pitcher. 2 balls and a strike as Shaver looks in and gets the sign, and will deliver home the pitch. That one swung on, grounded to 3rd. Bailey is there. His throw across will be not scooped out by Hayes over at 1st. So Hayes had to kind of scoop that one out, and it didn't quite get it cleanly. And so Pleasant Grove has the leadoff man on, as reaching on that will be the error by for Easton Walker, and then Eldridge comes to the plate. Eldridge will start tonight at second base for the Vikings. And we'll see Colton Shaver work from the stretch here for the first time this afternoon, and the pitch on its way. Bunt showed by Eldridge, but he pulls it back and he takes it low for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Runner over at first base, Easton Walker will get set and ready to take his lead at first. Shaver takes a look in to Kruger behind home plate. And the 1-0 delivery, bunt showed again. Eldridge pulls it back, but it's taken for a called strike, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. So the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike to Ben Eldridge. Eldridge will look down the third base line and get signs from his third base coach and stand back in ready to go. The 1-1 pitch, bunt laid down the first base line, and Hayes will be there to take it to the base, and there's 1 away. So perfectly executed there for Pleasant Grove. They get their leadoff man now in scoring position with 1 away, and Peyton Henry, the catcher, to come to the plate. Pleasant Grove has played their way through the bottom part of the bracket. In the opening round of the playoffs, they lost to Viewmont and then defeated Hillcrest, Fremont, Taylorsville, Copper Hills, Bingham, and Layton to advance here to this one. So they have had a long week of lots of baseball, and the pitch on its way is going to be in there on the outside corner, and it's called for a strike to Peyton Henry. No balls and a strike. Henry getting the start behind the dish tonight for the Vikings. No balls and 1 strike. Schaefer takes a look, checks Eldridge at second, and delivers home. And that pitch is just going to be off the plate for a ball, and he misses with the fastball. And the count's even up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Jordan in the all-white, white tops and white pants. Pleasant Grove in the white pants and, I'm going to say, powder blue tops. The 1-1 pitch, and that one's going to be a breaking ball that just misses off the plate, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Two balls and 1 strike to count here to Peyton Henry. A slightly open stance in the box on the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and fouled back, and it'll be 2-2. Henry just made enough contact with that one to foul it away, and it hit off Mason Kruger behind home plate. Outfield playing straight away for Jordan. Infield pretty straight away as well here with 1 away. Working from the stretch, Shaver sets, checks Eldridge, and delivers home. That one swung on and missed, strike 3. So Colton Shaver gets his first strikeout of the night, and the second out here in the top of the first inning. And Jade Smoot will come to the plate here looking to try to put Pleasant Grove on the board here with a base hit. Smoot will hit from the left side of the plate. And Schaefer looks into Kruger to get the sign. Checks the runner back at second, time called, and Smoot will take a couple steps out of the box here. No balls and no strikes here with 2 gone. And the delivery on its way. Swung on and popped up high on the infield. It's going to roll shallow into the outfield, and Lisk is there, and he makes the catch. So after the man reaches on the air, Pleasant Grove goes 1-2-3 at the end of a half inning from Brent Brown Ballpark. Pleasant Grove 0, and the Jordan Beat Diggers coming to bat. You're listening to the 2014 Class 5A State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Bottom half of the first inning from Brent Brown Ballpark, the Jordan Beet Diggers give Pleasant Grove almost 1-2-3 in the top half of the inning, and they'll come up here looking to try to find a way to get some early run support for Colton Shaver, and this will be the Jordan lineup. Leading off will be the catcher, Mason Kruger. Colton Shaver, the pitcher, hits second. Cale Hathaway in center field hits third. Mason Hayes, the first baseman, will hit fourth. Drew List, the shortstop, hits fifth. Morgan Gomez hitting sixth. And the first pitch to Kruger is high and away for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Christian Bailey at third base tonight for Jordan gets the start. In the 7th spot, Cody Davis in left hits 8th, and Parker Anderson rounds out the order and hits 9th as the 1-0 pitch catches the outside corner, and it evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Quickly, Walker delivers the 1-1 pitch, and that's just off the plate for a ball, 2 balls and a strike. Defensively for the Vikings of Pleasant Grove, in the outfield, it's going to be Braden Cox in left, Zach Peterson in center, as the 2-1 pitch is lined down the right field line. It's going to stay fair. So Mason Kruger will have a soft base hit to open up this one, and Jordan has their leadoff man on here in the first inning. And that's going to bring Colton Shaver to the plate with nobody out. In right field, it will be Chase Merrill. On the infield for the Vikings, it's going to be Matthew Wild at short, Ben Eldridge at second, Brody Blackhurst at first, and then playing once again will be Logan Bullock getting the start at third base as a 1 ball, no strike count has come to Colton Shaver. The 1-0 pitch is inside and a little tight for a ball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Behind the plate is Peyton Henry, and on the mound is Easton Walker. As Walker has a 2-0 count here to Colton Shaver, the 2-0 pitch sits right on the outside corner, and it will make the count 2 balls and a strike. So now that we have lineups and defensive alignment set, the 2-1 pitch, a fastball comes high, and it's 3 balls and a strike. Let's just settle in and get ready for 7 innings of a state championship baseball game. The 3-1 pitch on its way to Shaver, a breaking ball. It's going to catch the outside corner, and the count will go full at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes here. Mason Kruger running on at first for Jordan. He gets his lead. He is going. The 3-2 pitch is fouled away, and we'll redo the 3-2. So Jordan early on, looking like they were going to send Kruger. He'll backpedal his way over back to first base. And we'll redo the 3-2 pitch coming to Colton Shaver. Walker set pickoff move, and Kruger steps back onto the base. Kruger was maybe a step off first base there, so he hadn't even really began to take his lead. And now he will, in another pickoff move, and he dives straight back onto the base, and he's back safely. So Easton Walker now very much aware that Mason Kruger could run. As Kruger gets his lead, the 3-2 pitch, he's not going, and Schaefer swings and misses. So the first strikeout of the game for Easton Walker sends down his countermate on the mound, Colton Shaver, and now Cale Hathaway will come up to the plate. Hathaway, getting the start in center for Jordan tonight, was in there last night in Jordan's win over Layton. And the pitch is swung on, grounded to first, but it's going to go foul. No balls and 1 strike the count on Hathaway, who just swung and rolled the first pitch foul over into the first base coaching box. Big hole on the right side of the infield for Hathaway. The 0-1 pitch is just going to be off the plate for a ball, and the count is even up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Blackhurst is holding on Mason Kruger, and that's opening up a nice big hole on the right side. The 1-1 pitch is swung on. It's check swing, but it's a called strike, and it'll be 1-2. So Easton Walker has been able to get ahead of the first couple of hitters here that he's faced in the first, and now is a 1 ball, 2 strike count on Cale Hathaway. Pickoff move, and once again, Mason Kruger is back on first base standing up. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count on Hathaway. And the delivery on its way. That one's going to stay high with the fastball, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mason Kruger takes his lead over at first. And the 2-2 pitch is going to be swung on, and that one's fouled back over us here in the press box. It looks like the sun is trying to break through, but a lot of cloud cover here is keeping the sun away. The 2-2 pitch is going to be blocked in the dirt. Peyton Henry couldn't find it, and Mason Kruger lowers the head for second. So Jordan will have their first runner in scoring position here, and this back-to-back full counts here coming to Cale Hathaway. So Walker went 3-2 to Schaefer before getting Schaefer to swing and miss. Now he's 3-2 to Hathaway, and the pitch on its way is low, ball 4. And the Beat Diggers have 2 men on with 1 out here in the first, and Mason Hayes, the first baseman, going to stand in. Hayes yesterday in the win over Layton had a home run that was hit well out to right field. Probably cleared the road that sits right beyond the right field side, not University Parkway, but the other road here on the campus of Utah Valley University. And Mason Hayes stands in and takes the first pitch, which is going to cut it at the knees for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Hayes wears number 9 and hits from the right side, or the left side of the plate. No balls and 1 strike. Walker set and delivers home the 0-1 pitch. That is in there at the knees with the fastball. And Easton Walker's quickly ahead. No balls and 2 strikes on Hayes. Pretty full house here for this one. The first base side has got a lot of blue for Pleasant Grove. And the 0-2 pitch swung on. That one's pulled to the right side for a base hit. They're going to wave Mason Kruger. Here comes the throw, and Kruger is going to score. And it's 1-0 Jordan here in the bottom of the first inning. So an RBI single from Mason Hayes. We talked about that big hole for Hathaway. Once again, Blackhurst holding the runner on, and that one got through the right side, and Mason Kruger was able to score. Chase Merrill had a nice throw on the ball, but Blackhurst kind of bobbled it on the relay, and Mason Kruger got in easily. Cale Hathaway moves all the way down to third, and now with 1 out, Jordan with runners on the corners, and Drew Lisk, the shortstop, takes the first pitch with the fastball, and it's called a strike, and it's 0-1. Lisk wears number 10, gets the start at the shortstop position. No balls and a strike. And the kick and the delivery, a breaking ball, and that one stays away, and it evens the count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Runners on the corners for Jordan, 1 out here in the bottom of the first, and 1 run in. And the 1-1 pitch, a breaking ball, and that's going to break over the middle of the plate for a called strike, and it's 1-2 to Drew Lisk. Eldridge and Wild up the middle for Pleasant Grove, a double play depth, and the 1-2 pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. They're going to say foul tip into the glove for strikeout number 2 of the day. And out number 2 here in the first, and that's going to bring up Morgan Gomez. So Morgan Gomez, playing in right field tonight, will stand in. Gomez will stand in from the left side. Once again, Blackhurst holding Mason Hayes on at first, and the pitch is swung on, and this one's going to be fouled away to the left side and back up above the concourse, and we'll redo the 0-1 pitch. No balls and 1 strike. Walker set from the stretch again and delivers home the 0-1 pitch, and that's high and away, and the count will even up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Runners will get their leads here on the corners at first and third. 1 ball and 1 strike, and the delivery on its way, and that one's in there at the knees on the outside corner, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Morgan Gomez. Runners will get their leads. Hathaway at third, Hayes at first, and the 1-2 pitch on its way home. A called strike 3, and Easton Walker strikes out the side. He's got 3 strikeouts, but Jordan has the first run, and at the end of 1 inning from Brent Brown Ballpark, it's Jordan 1, Pleasant Grove 0. You're listening to the 2014 Class 5A State Championship game on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Top of the second inning, 1 ball and no strikes the count to Braden Cox as he takes the 1-0 pitch over for a strike. Be Braden Cox, Chase Merrill, and Brody Blackhurst coming up here. And 1 ball and 1 strike. Colton Shaver delivers home, and that one's low, and the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 1-0 Jordan here in the top of the second inning. Shaver sets and delivers home the 2-1 pitch, and that's going to be just low and away for ball 3, and the count moves to 3 balls and 1 strike. Three balls and 1 strike. Schaefer again set from the windup, and he kicks and delivers home, and that's low, ball 4. So Pleasant Grove will get the leadoff man on for the second time tonight here in 2 innings. And Chase Merrill, the right fielder, will come to the plate. Pleasant Grove got Easton Walker on in the top half of the inning, but then went 1-2-3 to end the threat in the first inning. So we'll see here how Pleasant Grove decides to play this. And Merrill set, ready to go in the box. Schaefer back from the stretch. Merrill shows bunt and pulls it back, and it's a strike, and it's 0-1. Brody Blackhurst on deck for the Vikings of Pleasant Grove. Running over at first base, Braden Cox. Hayes is going to hold on the runner. Big hole on the right side. No balls and a strike. The pitch on its way. Bunt laid down. Right back to the pitcher. They're going to go to second. Schaefer did not get him. The throw was a little offline to second. And with that throw, sliding in was Braden Cox. And so now, Pleasant Grove puts the first couple of runners on here. And now we'll see here exactly what's going to go on as we're going to have a quick trip out to the mound. So the Vikings, for the first time tonight, putting together a big threat with nobody out. If Pleasant Grove finds a way to win this one, we're still early, and we'll kind of see as the game goes on here to see how well that will happen. There would be a second game here. This is a double elimination tournament. So Pleasant Grove, to be able to win a state championship, would have to win both of these games today against Jordan as the visit on the mound comes to an end. And Brody Brody Blackhurst will now stand in the box here against Colton Shaver. Runners will get their leads. Braden Cox at second, Chase Merrill at first. Blackhurst is set. And Schaefer delivers home. Blackhurst shows bunt, pulls it back, and it's taken away for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Hayes playing in on the grass, maybe a step off the grass at first, getting ready in case of that bunt there. 1 ball and no strikes. Blackhurst squares again. The bunt laid down the third baseline. It's going to be fielded by Bailey. He'll throw across the diamond in time. So the sacrifice will work and move Cox to third. And Chase Merrill will move up to second base. And with 1 out, Zach Peterson comes to the plate with a couple of men in scoring position for Pleasant Grove. Peterson getting the start in center field tonight, or in this afternoon's ball game. Last night, in the 12-0 win over Layton, Peterson was 1 for 2. Hitting from the left side against Colton Schaefer. And Shaver delivers. The first pitch is off the plate for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Outfield playing pretty straight away. 1 ball and no strikes to the count. Set, ready to go, and staying on the mound and just kind of repositioning everything is Colton Shaver. Shaver set with the 1-0 pitch. Swung on. That one's fouled straight back, and the count will be even up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Matthew Wild in the on-deck circle for Pleasant Grove. The middle infield for Jordan playing back, so likely a ground ball up the middle. They will trade the tying run for the out. Corners are playing in though. The 1-1 pitch on its way, and that was a fastball that misses away. It makes the count 2 balls and a strike to Zach Peterson. Runners get their leads. At second, Merrill with a fairly big lead. Now he'll re-get it. And the 2-1 pitch is on its way home, and that one's just off the plate for ball 3. And the count goes to 3 balls and a strike. So 3 balls and 1 strike to count. Coming to Zach Peterson here. Colton Schaefer working from the stretch. And the 3-1 pitch on its way is outside ball 4. And so the bases are full for Pleasant Grove. Looking for a key base hit here. And Mason Kruger will go have a word with Colton Shaver on the mound. Top half of the second inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark on the campus of Utah Valley University, where it's Jordan 1, Pleasant Grove 0. We had the 4A state championship game, was the game before this one, when Bountiful takes care of Spanish Fork. So Bountiful is the 4A state champions. And only 1 game was required there. So that's going to bring up Matthew Wild, the second baseman, or the shortstop, with 1 out. Colton Shaver set from the stretch. Infield up the middle at double play depth. Pleasant Grove still looking for their first hit of the night, and the pitch on its way is over for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Hathaway playing almost exactly straight away in center field, and most of the outfield playing pretty straight away. No balls and a strike to Wild. Shaver sets and delivers the 0-1 pitch. That was swung on line to center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Cox will score. Right behind him is Chase Merrill. He will score, and Pleasant Grove has taken a 2-1 lead here in the second. A 2-run single by Matthew Wild And the Vikings have found a way here to take the lead in the second. And now back to the top of the Vikings lineup in Easton Walker. Walker reached on an error. He hit a ground ball to short, and Lisk made a good throw. It was maybe a little bit low in the dirt, but Hayes could not pick it cleanly. So reaching on that was Easton Walker. So now he'd like to try to help his own cause here. And the pitch on its way is going to stay high for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. One ball and no strikes the count on Easton Walker. Shaver set, checks the runner, delivers home the 1-0. That one swung on, grounded to third. Bailey's going to tag third for the first out, throw across the diamond in time. And Easton Walker grounds into a 5-3 double play, which will indeed end the second inning. But the Pleasant Grove Vikings get 2 at the end of 1.5. It's Pleasant Grove 2, Jordan 1. You're listening to the 2014 Class 5A State Baseball Championship game on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Bottom half of the second inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. The Jordan Beat Diggers coming up. 7, 8, 9 coming up. Christian Bailey, the third baseman, started the double play in the top of the inning. Just took the ground ball that he fielded and touched third base and threw across the diamond. He'll take the first pitch, a fastball high, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. It'll be Christian Bailey, Cody Davis, and Parker Anderson coming up for Jordan. 1-0 pitch on its way, and that's going to be in there on the corner, and it evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Easton Walker set, ready to go again. The 1-1 breaking ball, and it breaks back just inside. It's 2 balls and a strike. The curveball broke at the last second. It was just taken for a ball. It's 2 balls and a strike, and the 2-1 pitch. That one's up and in for ball 3, and it's going to be 3 balls and a strike. And the kick and the delivery on the 3-1 pitch, high ball 4. So Christian Bailey finds his way on to open up the second inning. And now that will bring up Cody Davis. Davis getting the start for Jordan in left field today. Comes up here with nobody out. And the pitch, Davis shows bunt, pull back, snap throw to first, almost getting Christian Bailey. But Bailey just able to get back underneath the tag, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. One ball and no strikes to Cody Davis. Bullock playing in very shallow on that third base grass, expecting a bunt. Davis will turn, pops the bunt straight up. It's going to hit off the netting and go foul. That's 1 ball and 1 strike. Blackhurst's going to hold Bailey on at first base. And Davis will turn and square to bunt again, and the bunt is laid down right back to Walker. He's going to field it, go to second for 1, and the throw's not in time. It was going to be a very close play, and Easton Walker, when he made the throw, kind of bounced it into a shortstop, Matthew Wild, and getting getting his foot in there is Christian Bailey before Wild could grab the baseball. So Jordan now showing a couple of runners in scoring position, and the 9-hole hitter Parker Anderson coming up. A very good chance the bunt might still be on here. And he does turn, and Anderson squares, pulls the bunt back, and it's taken for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1 ball and no strikes the count on the Jordan second baseman. Working from the stretch. Walker sets, delivers the bunt, showed again, pulled back. This time the pitch goes low and away, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Runners get their lead, Christian Bailey and Cody Davis on the base path, so good speed on for Jordan. Again, squaring and bunting, the 2-0 pitch. This one's popped up. It's going to get foul, though, before Henry or Bullock can get there, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Peyton Henry tried to get there, and Bullock came charging in quickly, but it just didn't get up high enough. And the count will go to 2 balls and a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike the count. Walker set from the stretch. Bunt showed again, pulls it back, and takes ball 3. And the count runs to 3 balls and a strike. So a good hitter's count for Parker Anderson. We'll see here if Jordan keeps the bunt sign on, or if they're going to let Anderson take a swing here. He's going to square and bunt, and the 3-1 pitch is going to be bunted right back to Walker. He'll go to first this time. The throw is over to first is in time. There's 1 out here in the second inning. So 1 away, the runners, Christian Bailey and Cody Davis, move up 90 feet. So back to the top of the Jordan lineup, and Mason Kruger with a couple of men on for the Beat Diggers. I have a quick visit out to the mound by Peyton Henry. Make sure he's on the same page here with Easton Walker. And now we'll break up the... Peyton Henry will head back behind home plate. With 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Jordan threatening again. Mason Kruger has singled and came around to score back in the first. Set, ready to go here. Corners are in for Pleasant Grove with 1 out. Walker sets, delivers home, and Kruger takes a first pitch fastball on the outside corner for a strike, and it's 0-1. Walker working from the stretch. Set, and the 0-1 pitch is in there at the knees, and it's 0-2. So Walker gets ahead of Mason Kruger. It would be the pitcher Colton Shaver to follow on deck. No balls and 2 strikes. Walker set. Time called, and stepping out of the box will be Kruger. Outfield straight away for Pleasant Grove. Corners are in on the infield. And the 0-2 pitch swung on and missed, and Kruger attempted to swing at that, and there's 2 away here in the second. The 4th strikeout of the night for Easton Walker. And with two away, Colton Shaver will come up, and Pleasant Grove will give him I think they're going to give him the intentional base on balls here. Shaver started towards first and then stopped, and now will head down. So they will intentionally walk Shaver, and the bases are going to be loaded for Cale Hathaway. Hathaway walked in his at-bat in the first and then got left on at third base. So he'll try to, with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second, deliver for the Beat Diggers. And the first pitch to Hathaway is in there at the knees for a strike, and it's 0-1. No balls and a strike. The pitch comes inside on the corner, and it's quickly 0-2 to Hathaway. So no balls and 2 strikes. The pitch on its way, and Hathaway able to foul that one back. And it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Walker set from the stretch, looking for a big 3rd strike to end the 2nd inning and leave the bases loaded. The pitch swung on, popped up. Giving it a look will be Bullock, but that is going to be foul, and it'll be 0-2 as it hits off the roof here. Christian Bailey at 3rd, Cody Davis at 2nd, Colton Shaver. Looks like we have a pinch runner over at 1st, actually, for Jordan. The 0-2 pitch right on the outside for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes. Walker sets, delivers home. That one's low and inside, called strike 3. And Walker gets his 5th strikeout of the game to end the 2nd inning, and Jordan leaves the bases loaded at the end of 2 complete. It's Pleasant Grove 2, Jordan 1. You're listening to the 2014 Class 5A State Baseball Championship on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Top half of the 3rd inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. Pleasant Grove leading this one 2-1 as we begin the 3rd inning. Ben Eldridge, Peyton Henry, and Jade Smoot 2, 3, and 4 coming up here for Pleasant Grove. And they will go up against the right-hander Colton Shaver back onto the mound here to start the 3rd. Eldridge is 0 for 1 tonight, grounded out to 1st in his first at-bat in the 1st inning. Shaver sets and delivers home. The first pitch to Eldridge is low for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. So 2, 3, and 4 coming up for the Vikings here in the 3rd. The 1-0 pitch. Shaver kicks and delivers home, and that one's in there for a ball, and it's 2-0. So that one came across low. Eldridge is ready to go again. Shaver with the sign. Quick worker, and he delivers the 2-0, and that one swung on and fouled back. Shaver pretty much doesn't leave the mound. He takes a step maybe back off the rubber patch that's on the mound, and then steps right back on. The 2-1 pitch, and that one swung on by Eldridge and fouled back, and it evens the count at 2-2. So the count's even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the delivery on its way from Shaver is a breaking ball. It swung on and hit to short. Lisk is there. He makes the catch, and there's 1 out in the 3rd. And that's going to bring up the catcher, Peyton Henry. Henry 0 for 1 tonight, struck out back in his first at-bat in the 1st inning. Shaver sets, working from the windup, and will deliver his first pitch to Peyton Henry. Swung on, and that ball's hit out to right. Gomez getting back. He's under it. He makes the catch for the 2nd out of the 3rd inning. So with 2 out now, Jade Smoot will come to the plate. Smoot is 0 for 1, popped out to Hayes to end the 1st inning, the first baseman for Jordan. Set and ready to go. Shaver will kick and deliver on its way, and that's low for a ball, and it's 1-0. Shaver again on the mound, set, ready to go. Infield back at normal depth for Jordan, and the 1-0 pitch is in there at the knees for a called strike, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Outfield pretty straight away for Jordan. Everyone playing a pretty regular depth on the field, and the 1-1 pitch. It's going to be a check swing, and he went, says our home plate umpire, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the count runs 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jade Smoot. And the 1-2 pitch on its way. Smoot taps that one to short. Lisk deep in the hole. His throw across the diamonds in time. And the top of the third is over for Pleasant Grove. So the Vikings go quietly 1-2-3 in the top of the third. We head to the bottom of the third inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. Pleasant Grove 2, Jordan 1. You're listening to the 2014 Class 5A State Championship game on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Bottom half of the third inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. The Vikings of Pleasant Grove leading the Jordan Beat Diggers 2-1. As we play here in the bottom of the third inning, Jordan will come up with 4, 5, and 6. Mason Hayes, Drew Lisk, and Morgan Gomez to come up. And Walker delivers the first pitch, a breaking ball that ends up at the knees of Mason Hayes for a called strike, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Walker set again, the 0-1 pitch is low and inside, and it's for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. Hayes in his first at-bat put an RBI on a hard hit ball through the right side. The 1-1 pitch, this one well inside, makes the count 2 balls and a strike. Hayes has the lone RBI for Jordan, and the 2-1 pitch bounces in the other batter's box for a ball, and it's 3 balls and a strike. So a good hitter's count here to the Jordan cleanup hitter. And the 3-1 pitch on its way is on the corner for a called strike, and it's 3-2. Hayes took 1 step towards third and then stopped, and it was called for a strike, and this swung on and popped up down the line. Bullock going to give it a look, but it's going to get back up onto the berm, and we'll redo the 3-2. So Easton Walker steps back up onto the mound. A quick worker gets the sign from Henry and delivers the 3-2 pitch. Swung on, popped up. Over to third. Bullock is there. He makes the catch, and there's 1 out. So with 1 away, Drew Lisk will step to the plate. Lisk went down swinging back in the first. As Easton Walker has 5 strikeouts right now through 3 1/3. And the kick and the delivery home. Swung on and grounded foul. And we'll redo the 0-1. Or we'll make the count no balls and a strike. Infield for Pleasant Grove, normal depth. Outfield the same way, the 0-1 pitch. A breaking ball that hits the outside corner, and it's 0-2 on Drew Lisk. No balls and 2 strikes. Walker delivers. Swung on. That one's fouled away. Up and will roll down over the press box roof and go foul. So no balls and 2 strikes to Lisk. And Walker kicks and delivers home the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, grounded to third. Bullock there makes the play. The throw across the diamond. Scooped at first in time, and they get Lisk. Blackhurst had an impressive backhand to scoop that one out of the dirt. And with 2 away here in the third, Morgan Gomez will come up for Jordan. Just as impressive was the stop by Bullock. He went down to 1 knee and then threw that ball across the diamond. And with 2 outs, Morgan Gomez, a strikeout victim in the first, stands in, and he takes ball 1 inside, 1-0. One ball and no strikes. Walker kicks and delivers that one high and tight for a ball, and it's 2-0. As dancing out of the way of that one was Morgan Gomez. Big hole on the right side of the Pleasant Grove infield. And the 2-0 pitch swung on. That one's hit to left field. That's going to fall and roll onto the warning track. Gomez will take the turn at first. He will be into second with a stand-up 2-out double. So it looks like Pleasant Grove was playing that one right, where they had everyone kind of shaded towards the left side of the field, and Morgan Gomez still found a way to split the outfield. And with 2 away, Christian Bailey will come to the plate. Bailey led off the second inning with a walk, and then was left over at third base. Bailey set ready to go from the right side, and the delivery home. Swung on and missed, and it's no balls and a strike to Christian Bailey. No balls and a strike, set ready to go. Walker from the stretch. The 0-1 delivery, and that's just going to be outside for a ball, and it's 1-1. So the count even to the Jordan third baseman. The 1-1 pitch, that one stays high with the fastball. And it's 2 balls and a strike. Gomez gets his lead out on second base. Walker set from the stretch. The 2-1 pitch, that one's high and tight, and the count goes to 3-1. So a good hitter's count for Bailey. And we'll see here how Easton Walker, if he wants to go right at him with the fastball, or if he'll try that breaking pitch that he's been able to hit the outside corner with to right-handers. The 3-1 pitch on the way, he goes with the fastball, and that just catches the outside corner, and the count will go full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the third. Walker set, ready to go, and the kick and the delivery. High ball 4, and Christian Bailey, for the second time tonight, has walked. And that's going to bring Cody Davis to the plate. Quick word goes Peyton Henry out to his pitcher. Now he'll come back and ready to be behind home plate. And Cody Davis, who reached on a fielder's choice in the second, stands in. So with 2 away here, Walker set from the stretch. And the breaking pitch is just a tad outside, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Morgan Gomez running at second, Christian Bailey on at first, and the pitch swung on, and that's hit hard but foul down the right field line. It will hit off the siding there just past the Pleasant Grove dugout, and we'll come set once again with the 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike to count on Cody Davis. Easton Walker delivers. That was swung on, hit to right field. Going back is Merrill. He's there to make the catch. And the third for Jordan comes to an end. They do get 1 base runner on, or a couple of base runners on, but they leave him on base at the end of 3 complete from the 2014 Class 5A State Baseball Championship. It's Pleasant Grove 2, Jordan 1. You're listening on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. We move to the top of the 4th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. Pleasant Grove 2, Jordan 1, as it's going to be Braden Cox, Chase Merrill, and Brody Blackhurst. 6, 7, and 8 coming up here. No, 5, 6, and 7 coming up here for Pleasant Grove against Colton Shaver, who delivers the first pitch. A breaking ball that hits the inside corner, and it's 0-1. Cox on the night walked in the second and came around to score. No balls and a strike. Shaver sets and kicks and delivers home. And that one's a ground bouncing ball back up the middle into center field. And Braden Cox is on here to start the 4th inning. And that's going to bring Chase Merrill to the plate. Merrill reached on a fielder's choice and then eventually came around to score for the Vikings. And with nobody away, Merrill will stand in. Shaver set working from the stretch. The bunt showed by Merrill, and he will pull it back. The ball is going to get all the way to the backstop. And moving up 90 feet here will be Braden Cox. So the count will move to 1 ball and no strikes to Chase Merrill. Braden Cox moved down to second base. One ball and no strikes to the count. Shaver working from the stretch will get the sign from Kruger. Merrill still squaring, showing bunt. Cox on at second base. At this point, they try to move him down to third. And the bunt pulled back, and Merrill takes low for a ball, and it's 2-0. So Hayes in about a step on the grass. Christian Bailey at third for Jordan, even with the bag. 2 balls and no strikes. Merrill not showing the bunt this time. And now he'll turn and square. Shaver, and it's laid down but foul down the third baseline. And it will be 2 balls and a strike. So we've seen it both where Merrill shows bunt originally and then pulls it back and goes to swing. And we've also seen it where he looks like he's going to swing and then drops the bunt down late at the last second. So Pleasant Grove showing there's a couple of different ways here that they can do it here with a 2-1 count on Merrill. Working from the stretch, Colton Shaver checks the runner. Merrill will turn and square around, lays the bunt down, but he fouls it off, and it will even the count at 2-2. So now we'll see here how Pleasant Grove plays this, if they'll keep the bunt on, or if with 2 strikes, you'll have Merrill swing. Typically with 2 strikes, you don't want a bunt, because if you do foul the bunt off, it's the equivalent of a strikeout. And that would be the first out of the inning. We'll see how Pleasant Grove plays it here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cox gets his lead at second. Shaver takes a long look there and delivers home the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled away. It was fouled away right at home plate as Chase Merrill got just enough of it to foul it back, and our umpire's going to go hand a new baseball out to Colton Shaver there. As Mason Kruger looked like he was shaking. He's kind of trying to shake off some pain. I think that pitch came back and kind of hit Kruger somewhere. And now we'll see here how he does on the 2-2 pitch. Colton Shaver, working from the stretch, is set and ready to go. Gets the sign from Kruger. The runner, Cox, gets his lead at second. And time called, and Merrill will step out of the batter's box. The run here for Jordan has been a little bit different than Pleasant Grove's run. And the 2-2 delivery on its way is on the inside corner for ball 3. And the count goes 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jordan defeated Hunter in the first round, Fremont in the second. Their third game they beat Lone Peak, and then they defeated Layton yesterday. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to count. And Schaefer set from the stretch and delivers home. That one comes inside, and I think it went off the knob of the bat of Merrill. And we'll redo it, so it'll be a foul ball. Sometimes it can be hard on that particular situation to see whether it hits the knob of the bat or goes off the elbow. And Merrill didn't make any protest, and so it went off the knob of the bat. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Shaver set again from the stretch, delivers the 3-2. Swung on, grounded to short. Lisk is there. He'll throw over to first, and it's in tie for the first out of the 4th inning. The key thing there is Cox having to hold at second base. And now that's going to bring out Brody Blackhurst. Blackhurst in the first laid down a bunt that moved Cox and Chase Merrill up to second and third. Blackhurst will hit from the left side of the plate. Stands in and is set and ready to go. Colton Shaver working here from the stretch. And the first pitch on its way. Blackhurst swings and misses, and it's 0-1. So Blackhurst just comes up a little bit empty. And he's down in the count, no balls and 1 strike. Shaver sets, checks the runner, and delivers home the 0-1 pitch. That swung on and popped up into left field. It's Cody Davis there to make the catch, and there's 2 outs. So Colton Shaver has responded well after the leadoff man gets on, has gotten Merrill and Blackhurst back-to-back, and now he'll try to finish off and end the inning with Zach Peterson stepping in. Peterson walked in the second and then was one of the outs on the double play to end the inning. Shaver set from the stretch, checks the runner. Cox at second, delivers home. Peterson swings and misses, and it's no balls and a strike. The outfield for Jordan playing pretty straight away, although a big gap out there in right center field if Peterson could line one out there. No balls and a strike. And the 0-1 pitch on its way is going to hit the outside corner, and the count goes 0-2 to Peterson. No balls and 2 strikes to the count. Shaver is set, ready to go. Gets the sign from Mason Kruger behind home plate. Checks Cox at second and delivers home the 0-2. Has swung on and missed, strike 3. So Colton Shaver gets his second strikeout of the night, and the 4th inning for Pleasant Grove comes to an end. The Vikings do get the leadoff man on, but will strand him at second base as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. It's Pleasant Grove 2, Jordan 1. You're listening to the 2014 Class 5A State Baseball Championship game on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Bottom half of the 4th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Jordan will send up Parker Anderson, Mason Kruger, and Colton Shaver. As Anderson, the second baseman, will lead it off. He's 0 for 1 tonight as he grounded out back to the pitcher. And the first pitch on its way is a called strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Pleasant Grove 2, Jordan 1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Walker sets, delivers the 0-1 pitch, and that's just off the plate for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Easton Walker has done pretty well through 3 innings. Has allowed the 1 run on the 3 hits, and the 1 1-2 pitch swung on, and that actually now makes it 1 ball and 2 strikes. And also on the night has 5 strikeouts. And the delivery home, Anderson swings and fouls it back. So a 1 ball, 2 strike count to Parker Anderson. Set, ready to go, and Walker kicks and delivers home, and the pitch, a breaking ball. It's grounded right to third. Bullock with it, his throw over in time. There's 1 out. So Walker getting some good support tonight from the 8 men behind him. Well, the 7 men behind him and his catcher. And that will go back to the top of the Jordan lineup in Mason Kruger. Kruger singled and scored back in the first and went down swinging in the second, as he'll stand in from the right side of the plate. And Walker kicks and delivers home, and that's a fastball. It's away, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Colton Shaver in the on-deck circle for Jordan. 1 ball and no strikes, and the delivery on its way is swung on and grounded to third. It's again fielded by Bullock. His throw is high and overthrows Blackhurst. Kruger will take the turn and will head down to second base. And Mason Kruger's on second base here with nobody out with 1 out in the 4th inning. And that will be the first error of the night against the Vikings of Pleasant Grove. And Colton Shaver, the pitcher, due up. I'm interested to see here with first base open if Pleasant Grove might not put him on again. It doesn't look like they're going to. They'll pitch to Shaver this time. Shaver struck out back in the first and was intentionally walked in the second. And the pitch is high for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. One ball and no strikes. Easton Walker sets, delivers home. A breaking ball. It comes in high and tight and will hit Colton Shaver. And so now a couple men on here for Jordan in the bottom of the 4th inning. Cale Hathaway will come to the plate. We're going to have a courtesy runner. Don't see. Trying to get the number there for Jordan over at first base. Cale Hathaway stands in. The first pitch, Hathaway swings and misses, and it's no balls and a strike. Hathaway has walked in the first and struck out in the second. No balls and a strike, and the delivery on its way comes inside and tight, and dancing out of the way was Hathaway, and we're even at 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch coming home. That one stays high for ball 2, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike the count to Cale Hathaway. Walker delivers the 2-1. That's grounded to third. Bullock gonna bobble it. He's gonna have to go to first quickly, and the throw not in time. So everybody advances, and Jordan has loaded the bases. And they're gonna rule that an error. So base is full, and Mason Hayes will come to the plate for the Beat Diggers. I don't necessarily know if this is the man you want up here if you're Pleasant Grove. Hayes singled back in the first on an RBI. He popped out to third in the third, and the pitch comes inside, and Hayes turns out of the way for a ball, and it's 1-0. So it's Mason Kruger at third. It's the courtesy runner for Jordan at second base, and Cale Hathaway over at first. 1 ball and no strikes. And the breaking pitch is swung on and fouled away. It evens the count at 1-1. Jordan in the home whites. Pleasant Grove in the powder blue tops and white pants. Jordan threatening here in the 4th. The 1-1 pitch, a breaking ball. I just missed high, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Drew Lisk on deck for Jordan. Runners get their lead. The 2-1 pitch on its way is just off the plate, ball 3, and the count runs to 3-1 on Mason Hayes. So a good hitter's count here for Hayes, and we'll see what happens here with the 3-1 as Walker delivers a fastball, high, ball 4, and we're going to be tied at 2 as Mason Kruger will slowly come on in from third base. And with 1 away, the bases are still full. Bases are still full for Jordan. And a quick visit to the mound here by Peyton Henry out to make sure his pitcher's doing okay. And now Drew Lisk will come to the plate. Lisk went down swinging in the first and also grounded to third in the 3rd inning. And now we'll see here exactly what will happen. The first pitch, Lisk swings, it's that one to right. It is going to fall fair down the line. Coming in to score will be the pinch runner for Schaefer. That's all that will score. And it's now a 3-2 lead for Jordan here in the 4th. So credit Drew Lisk with an RBI single. Still with 2 away, Morgan Gomez will come to the plate. So Jordan has added 2 here in the 4th. And the bases still loaded with Hathaway at third, Hayes at second, and now Drew Lisk at first. And the pitch to Gomez is swung on and fouled away. It's 0-1. Some action now going in the bullpen for Pleasant Grove. A left-hander beginning to get loose. The 0-1 pitch, a breaking ball, and that hits the inside corner, and it's 0-2. Looking down there trying to get a number, but I don't see one here yet. The 0-2 pitch on its way. It's called strike 3 to Gomez. So that's strikeout number 6 on the night for Easton Walker. And now Christian Bailey will come to the plate. Bailey has yet to have an official at-bat in this game. He walked in the 2nd and also walked in the 3rd. Bases full for Jordan with 2 outs. Infield and outfield playing at pretty much regular depth, and the pitch to Bailey is a fastball on the outside corner, and it's 0-1. So if Easton Walker can get out of this jam with only allowing 2, he'd be pretty fortunate. The 0-1 pitch just off the plate for a ball, and it's 1-1. Bailey getting the start at third, and the pitch swung on and missed. It's 1-2. They moved Mason Kruger behind the plate tonight with Colton Shaver on the mound, and so they insert Christian Bailey, who played in the outfield yesterday. They insert him into third, and Cody Davis, who we saw primarily running yesterday against Layton, moved him into left field. The pitch on its way, a called strike 3. They're going to say that Christian Bailey went to swing. The 7th strikeout of the night for Easton Walker. Jordan does score 2, though, in the 4th to take a 3-2 lead as we move to the top of the 5th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. It's Jordan 3, Pleasant Grove 2. You're listening to the 2014 Class 5A State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Top half of the 5th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Pleasant Grove coming up with 9-1 and 2. Matthew Wild will stand in to lead it off. Wild is 1 for 1 with a 2 RBI single back in the second. And Colton Shaver delivers the first pitch, a strike in there at the knees, and it's 0-1. No balls and a strike to Wild. And the 0-1 pitch is low for a ball, and it's 1-1. Easton Walker, the pitcher, on deck. Then it will be Ben Eldridge for Pleasant Grove here in the fifth, trailing this one 3-2. The 1-1 pitch on its way home is low for a ball, and it makes the count 2 balls and a strike. So a favorable hitter's count here for Wild. 2 balls and a strike. Shaver sets, delivers home the 2-1 pitch, is swung on and fouled away. Looks like it got fouled off of maybe the foot of Matthew Wild as he's kind of not limping, but kind of favoring one of his as he walked away from home plate after the 2-1 pitch. So the count's even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Wild will get the 2-2 pitch from Shaver. He swings, hits that one to right. It's going to fall for a base hit. Wild will take the turnaround first and will hold as Gomez's throw is cut off by Anderson. And so his second hit of the night for Matthew Wild. And we go back to the top of the Pleasant Grove lineup and the pitcher Easton Walker. So we've seen that Pleasant Grove is like to, in these situations, lay down a bunt and move the runner into scoring position. We'll see if they stick with that pattern here with the pitcher Easton Walker, who's reached on an error and also hit into a double play. And the pitch, Walker lays down the bunt to third. It's fielded cleanly. The throw to first, though, is going to get away, and it's going to roll down the line, and getting down over to third base is going to be Matthew Wild. So Bailey fielded the ball cleanly, threw across the diamond, and the throw came low, and it bounced up over Hayes, and it kind of rolled away from him. And so Easton Walker will reach for the second time tonight on an error. And now there's a couple of runners on, and Ben Eldridge will come to the plate. So whenever Jordan has taken the lead in this one, Pleasant Grove has been able to fight back, showing they have some talent to fight back when the game gets tough. Eldridge has grounded to first and also popped out to short here in the second. Shaver ready to go, and the first pitch is on its way home. A bunt showed by Eldridge, and it looks like he missed it completely. And it'll be no balls and a strike. I thought it was fouled away, but Easton Walker advances to second. So looks like they're going to say that Eldridge just flat out missed it. And it's no balls and 1 strike. They count to Ben Eldridge now with 2 Vikings in scoring position. Wild at third, Easton Walker at second for Pleasant Grove. Shaver set from the stretch, delivers home the 0-1 pitch, and that's right on the outside corner, and it's 0-2. So Eldridge is down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. And he gets set, ready to go. Shaver working from the stretch. The corners are in. The middle infield back for Jordan. The 0-2 pitch. Swung on, popped up. This one's going to be on the infield. It's going to be Hayes. The first baseman is there, and he makes the catch. 1 out. So Pleasant Grove not able to get the run home with the first out of the inning, and now Peyton Henry will come to the plate. Henry is 0 for 2 on the night, struck out swinging in the first and flew out to right in the third. Colton Shaver trying to work through. Hayes pitched well, only allowed 2 runs on 3 hits. Shaver kicks, delivers the first pitch, swung on, and Henry swings and fouls it away. It's 0-1. Jade Smoot in the on-deck circle for the Vikings of Pleasant Grove. No balls and a strike. Shaver working from the stretch. And the 0-1 delivery on its way. A breaking ball, and Henry swings and hits that one to right center field. That's going to fall. Coming in to score will be Wild. Walker right behind him, and Pleasant Grove has retaken the lead at 4-3 here in the 5th inning. Peyton Henry just stayed behind the baseball enough to put it out there in that right center field gap. And then he goes into second with a 2-run double. And it's now Pleasant Grove 4, Jordan 3 here in the top of the 5th inning. And Jade Smoot, the DH, coming up. Smoot has popped out to first and grounded to short. Shaver set from the stretch. Takes a look into Kruger, gets the sign, checks the runner at second. And the pitch on its way to Smoot is swung on, grounded to first. It's fielded, and Hayes will take it to the bag himself, and there's 2 outs. Peyton Henry does advance down to third on the play. And that it keeps the inning alive with Braden Cox coming up. Cox has walked and scored in the second and also singled back in the 4th. Working from the stretch, Shaver delivers home the first pitch. Cox takes a fastball at the knees for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Chase Merrill, the right fielder, would be due up next if Pleasant Grove can extend the inning. No balls and a strike. Shaver sets and delivers home the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and fouled straight back to the screen, and it's 0-2. Colton Shaver a strike away from ending the 5th inning with minimal damage done. No balls and 2 strikes. Shaver takes a long look into Kruger behind home plate. And the 0-2 pitch, a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. Just making enough contact with that one was Braden Cox to stay alive. And it's quickly 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. Pleasant Grove with 2 runs here in the inning to take the lead at 4-3, and Cox swings and fouls that one back again, and will stay at no balls and 2 strikes. No action in the Jordan bullpen. Right now, they'll stick with Colton Shaver. Another big hole sitting off into right center field for Cox as Hathaway's playing straight away in center. The 0-2 pitch swung on and missed with a breaking ball. That is the 3rd strikeout of the night for Colton Shaver, and we head to the bottom of the 5th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. Pleasant Grove 4, Jordan 3. You're listening to the 2014 Class 5A State Baseball Championship game on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Back here at Brent Brown Ballpark, bottom of the 5th inning, Pleasant Grove scoring 2 in the top of the 5th to take a 4-3 lead, as it will be Cody Davis, Parker Anderson, and Mason Kruger. 8, 9, and 1 coming up, and the pitch on its way is low for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Davis has reached on a fielder's choice and has flown out to right. 1 ball and no strikes. Walker kicks and delivers. That one's away, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. 2 balls, no strikes. Walker kicks and delivers. That one's going to come right down the middle, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Now some action going in the bullpen for Jordan as the 2-1 pitch is over on the outside corner for a called strike 2, and the count goes to 2-2. I think that might be Morgan Gomez, the left-hander, and the 2-2 pitch is a fastball. It's away, and the count will go full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. In fact, I do believe that is number 13, Morgan Gomez, in the bullpen. The 3-2 pitch, a called strike 3 on the outside corner. The 8th strikeout for Easton Walker tonight, and Parker Anderson will come up here for Jordan in the 5th with 1 away. Parker Anderson is grounded to the pitcher and grounded out to third. Bullock at third, playing in on the grass, and the pitch comes, and that's a high chopper. Bullock's going to have to field it quickly. His throw over to first in time. There's 2 outs. Because it was hit so high in the air, it just kind of bounced and then it just went straight up. I wasn't sure how quickly Parker Anderson would get down the line. He got down the line quickly, but Bullock's throw beat him. And back to the top of the Jordan lineup, and here's Mason Kruger. And Kruger's going to bunt. He pops it up, and it's going to go foul and roll over towards the Jordan dugout. And it'll be no balls and a strike to Mason Kruger. Kruger singled and scored in the 1st, struck out swinging in the 2nd, and reached on an error in the 4th, and then came around to score. It's 0-1, and Kruger's gonna, I think he was just told to go grab a different bat. The home plate umpire talked with him for a second about the bat, and then Kruger took it and put it back in the dugout. So I'm not sure exactly what happened there. But Mason Kruger has a new bat and has an 0-1 pitch on its way. And that's a breaking ball that's outside corner. It's a called strike, and it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Mason Kruger. And Easton Walker delivers home, and that pitch is just a little bit low for a ball, 1-2. 3 or 4 members of the Pleasant Grove infield started towards the dugout, and then it was called a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the delivery on its way. Kruger swings and fouls it back, and we'll redo the 1 ball, 2 strike count. One ball and 2 strikes. Easton Walker kicks and delivers home, and that's a fastball. It's away, and the count will even up at 2-2. Easton Walker set back again on the mound. Gets the sign, delivers home the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. The 9th strikeout of the night for Walker. And we have played 5 complete here from Brent Brown Ballpark. Pleasant Grove 4, Jordan 3. You're listening to the 2014 Class 5A State Championship game on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Here at Brent Brown Ballpark, through 5 complete, Pleasant Grove 4, Jordan 3 at the 2014 Class 5A State Championship game. If Pleasant Grove holds on, we'll have one more game tonight to decide the 5A State champion, as it's going to be the middle part of the lineup for the Vikings: Chase Merrill, Brody Blackhurst, Zach Peterson. 6, 7, and 8 coming up here against Colton Shaver, and the first pitch grounded to short. Lisk fields it cleanly. His throw to first in time. There's one away in the 6th. So with one out, Brody Blackhurst will come to the plate. Blackhurst has had a sacrifice bunt and also flew out to center in this one. Colton Shaver is set, ready to go. And he looks in, kicks, and delivers the first pitch to Blackhurst, which is a fastball that catches the outside corner, and it's no balls and a strike. No balls and 1 strike. And Shaver kicks and delivers home the 0-1 pitch. That's swung on line to center. It's going to hang, though, for Hathaway in center, and there's 2 outs. So 2 outs in the 6th inning, and Zach Peterson, the center fielder for Pleasant Grove, comes to the plate. Peterson walked in the 2nd and struck out swinging back in the 4th. Shaver set, ready to go from the windup. Bailey in on the third base grass, and the pitch just away for a ball, and it's 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes to Peterson. Shaver looks in, gets the sign, and kicks and delivers home. And that's a breaking ball that ends up on the inside corner. And the count's even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs. Set, ready to go. The kick and the delivery on its way. A breaking ball swung on, hit into the gap. That is going to sit out there. Gomez is going to cut it off. Peterson's going to try for 2. The throw is not going to be a time. And getting underneath the tag was Zach Peterson. So Pleasant Grove takes a risk on the base paths there. Gomez makes a good throw right on the money, but Zach Peterson able to just slide in underneath the tag. And the Vikings have the runner in scoring position with 2 outs. And that's going to bring up Matthew Wild to the plate. Wild had a 2-run single in the 2nd, and then had a single and came around to score in the 2-run 5th for the Vikings. And the pitch on its way, swung on and popped up down the right field line. Gomez is going to give it a look, and he's going to make the catch over by the Pleasant Grove bullpen. And so the top of the 6th inning comes to an end. Pleasant Grove gets 1 on the Zach Peterson double, but they will strand him. We head to the bottom of the 6th at Brent Brown Ballpark. Pleasant Grove 4, Jordan 3. You're listening to the 2014 Class 5A State Baseball Championship game on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. As we bring you back to Brent Brown Ballpark here in the bottom of the 6th inning. A new pitcher on the mound. It's going to be the designated hitter for Pleasant Grove. Jade Smoot's going to come in, number 6. Easton Walker will move to shortstop. And then moving from shortstop will be Matthew Wild, will move down to third base. And so Easton Walker goes 5 innings, allows 4 hits, 3 runs, and walks 5 and strikes out 9. And Pleasant Grove is not going to mess around with Colton Shaver here. For the second time tonight, they will give him the intentional pass. And Cale Hathaway will come in and run when coming to hit. And the throw over and back to the bag. So Cale Hathaway stands in from the left side, and Smoot will throw back over, and back safely is the runner over at first. So Smoot from the lefty kicks and delivers. Hathaway squares to bunt and gets a fastball, a tie for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. So Easton Walker goes from pitcher to shortstop. Then Matthew Wild moves from shortstop down to third base here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The 1-0 pitch. The pitch comes and Hathaway pulls the bunt back and hits the ball hard and foul. Mason Hayes on deck for Jordan. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. And the kick and the delivery, Hathaway bunts, pulls it back, and takes ball 2. It's 2 balls and a strike. And they appeal it. And it looks like it's held up as a ball. Pleasant Grove wanted to appeal the first, left-handed hitter. The appeal goes down to third, or the second base umpire in this case. And this time they're going to say Hathaway does go, and the count evens up at 2-2. So Pleasant Grove came out and asked for the appeal to first, but the first base umpire would have the appeal if it was a right-handed hitter. The 2-2 pitch, the kick and the delivery comes, and Hathaway lays off that one, and the ball's in the dirt. And it's now a 3-2 count to Cale Hathaway, who has walked, struck out, and reached on an error. Set and ready to go here from the stretch. And the delivery home from Smoot. That's a fly ball hit well to center field. Peterson going to get back and get under it. He makes the catch, and there's 1 away. So with 1 down in the 6th, Mason Hayes will step up for the Beat Diggers. Hayes has singled in the first, popped out to third, and walked in the 4th. And now he'll step up here with 1 out in the inning. The pitch, a breaking ball, and that's going to hit the outside corner, and it's quickly 0-1 to Mason Hayes. Hayes with 2 RBIs in this game tonight, 2 of the 3 Jordan RBIs, and the pitch. That one bounces in the dirt. Having a hard time finding it was the catcher. The throw down was in time, and they get the runner trying to take second base. Peyton Henry had a hard time finding it at first, but then he found it, and he fired down and gets the runner, and there's 2 outs in the inning. So 2 outs and a 1-1 count here to Mason Hayes. And the kick and the delivery from Smoot is another breaking ball that hits the outside corner, and it's 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes the count here on Smoot. And the 1-2 pitch comes home, a breaking ball, and that's just, I guess, missed outside, and the count goes to even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Smoot sets, kicks, and delivers home the 2-2 pitch. Another breaking ball. This one was high for sure, and that's ball 3. And the count goes full once again. 3 balls and 2 strikes, the kick and the delivery home, and that one's high and tight for ball 4. So Nathan Hayes, for the second time tonight, will have himself a walk, and Drew Lisk, the shortstop, will come up. Lisk has struck out in the first, grounded to third, and then also singled in the fourth that knocked home one of the 2 Jordan runs in the fourth. Smoot kicks and delivers home. That's a fastball. It stays high and away. It's 1 ball and no strikes. 1 ball and no strikes. Smoot set from the stretch. Kicks and delivers home, and that one's high again for ball 2, and the count goes to 2-0. Morgan Gomez on deck for Jordan. As a conference on the mound as Blackhurst, Wild, and Henry are all out making sure that everyone's on the same page with Smoot. 2 balls and no strikes the count. Bottom of the 6th inning. Pleasant Grove 4, Jordan 3. Smoot kicks and delivers home, and that one swung on, grounded to third. It's going to be fielded by Wild. His throw over to first is picked out of the dirt by Blackhurst, and the 6th inning comes to an end. At the end of 6 complete from Brent Brown Ballpark, Pleasant Grove 4, Jordan 3. As we move to the 7th on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com, you're listening to the 2014 Class 5A State Championship game. Pleasant Grove and Jordan is a 4-3 lead for the Vikings of Pleasant Grove. We move to the top of the 7th inning. The Pleasant Grove Vikings will send the top of their lineup up here against Colton Shaver. It will be Easton Walker, Ben Eldridge, and Peyton Henry. And the first pitch bounces in past Mason Kruger to the backstop, and it's 1-0 to Easton Walker. Walker has reached on an error by the first baseman and an error by the third baseman tonight, grounded into a double play, and also scored a run. The 1-0 pitch comes, and that's in there for a ball, and it's 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes to the count. And Shaver looks in, gets the sign from Kruger, and delivers the 2-0. That one swung on and fouled away by Walker. It's 2 balls and a strike. If Pleasant Grove holds on to the bottom half of the inning, we will have one more game for you today. The 2-1 pitch swung on, grounded, past the diving first baseman Hayes into right field, and Easton Walker on to start the 7th inning. So an insurance run would be quite desirable for the Vikings of Pleasant Grove here, as Ben Eldridge will come to the plate. And going by what Pleasant Grove has done throughout the night, I would imagine here we would see Eldridge lay one down. Eldridge has grounded to first, also popped out to short, and popped out to first. Runner over at first, Easton Walker gets his lead, and Eldridge pulls the bunt back, hits it straight to center. Hathaway is there and makes the catch, and the first out of the 7th inning is recorded. So 1 away, and Peyton Henry will come to the plate. Henry struck out swinging in the first, flew out to right, and had a 2-run RBI double to right center field in the 5th inning. He got a breaking ball from Colton Shaver, and lined it into right center, where once again there is a lot of room out there for Peyton Henry. And the pitch on its way. Henry will take low for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. 1 ball and no strikes as Henry gets the sign from his head coach in the third base coaching box. Shaver set and delivers the 1-0 pitch. That's just on the outside corner for a strike. And it evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Clouds are once again covering the ballpark. These starting to get a little more dark. 1 ball and 1 strike. Shaver sets and delivers the 1-1 pitch. Runner goes. The throw down to get Walker is going to be in time. They got him. A great throw from Mason Kruger right on the money to Anderson covering the bag, and there's 2 outs here. As Easton Walker's caught stealing for the 2nd out of the inning. And a 1 ball, 2 strike count coming here to Peyton Henry. One ball and 2 strikes the count. Shaver sets, kicks and delivers the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, and that one's fouled straight back. And we'll redo the 1-2 pitch. Jade Smoot, the designated hitter, is going to be in the on-deck circle. In fact, he's now the pitcher. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Time called as Henry will step out of the batter's box. Pleasant Grove has been on quite the roll through the bottom part of the bracket. The 1-2 pitch swung on and lifted into left field. Lisk, the shortstop, is there. He'll make the catch in shallow left field. And the 7th inning comes to an end, so Pleasant Grove does get 1 on, but he gets caught stealing. We head to the bottom of the 7th here. It's Pleasant Grove 4, Jordan 3. The Beat Diggers need 1 to tie and 2 to win the state championship. We'll see what they can do after the break. You're listening to the 2014 Class 5A State Baseball Championship on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. The Pleasant Grove Vikings are 3 outs away from forcing one final game here. And we'll see what they can do. A new pitcher for Pleasant Grove. It's going to be number 15, Peyton Henry, who will move from behind the plate to the pitcher's mound. It's going to be the center fielder, Zach Peterson, coming in from center field to catch. And I'm trying to see the number of the guy in center field. And there's, right now, it looks like everybody's going over all the changes with the home plate umpire. And I think we're just about ready to go here. And now Peterson's actually going to head here back over towards the dugout. I don't know if there's going to be a change here quickly made. Explaining things over now with the Jordan coach of the third base dugout. Peterson took the warm-up tosses from Peyton Henry and then went behind home plate and then went over now to the dugout, and I think he might be taking all the gear off. So now we're going to wait to see here. Bottom of the seventh, Jordan will send up Morgan Gomez, Christian Bailey, and Cody Davis. And they need 1 run to tie, and they need 2. If Jordan does score 2, the game will end, and the Beat Diggers will win the 5A state championship. As we're waiting on everything here, I see Zach Peterson there standing with all the gear still on. And I think what we're doing, I'm not sure exactly what the weight is, as they're trying to make a decision. And it looks like it's actually going to be here number 21. I don't have a 21 here on the roster, but as we wait here to sort everything out as to who's going to come in and catch in this one for Pleasant Grove. And now they do have a catcher now walking back behind home plate. And it looks like it's going to be, I think that is number 21. And now they'll do a couple of warm-up tosses for him. And I knew some craziness happening here in the 7th inning. And it looks like it's actually number 24, Chance Cook, is going to come behind home plate. And he was going to do the catching here now for Pleasant Grove. So Chance Cook behind the plate, number 24 now for the Vikings of Pleasant Grove, as they will try to get the final 3 outs. And Morgan Gomez, the right fielder, stands in. Henry delivers the first pitch. A fastball, it's a called strike, and it's 0-1. Morgan Gomez, Christian Bailey, and Cody Davis coming up for Jordan. The 0-1 pitch on its way. Swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. Gomez has struck out twice and doubled tonight. The 0-2 pitch, high for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The right-hander kicks and delivers the 1-2. That was swung on and missed, strike 3. So Peyton Henry blows the fastball past Gomez, and there's 1 out, and Christian Bailey's coming up. Bailey has walked twice tonight and went down swinging back in the 4th. Henry will work from the windup here, and now will be set, ready to go. Henry kicks and delivers home. The first pitch swung on and fouled back, and it's no balls and a strike to Christian Bailey. Cody Davis in the on-deck circle for Jordan. It's the foul ball, and we'll retrieve that and get ready to go once again. No balls and a strike. Henry set, works from the windup, kicks and delivers home. A breaking ball, it stays high and away, and evens the count at 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Peyton Henry set, working from the windup, kicks and delivers the 1-1 pitch. That one swung on and fouled back, and it's 1-2. So the count goes 1 ball and 2 strikes here on Christian Bailey. Set and ready to go. The 1 ball, 2 strike count. The kick and the delivery home. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts from Peyton Henry. And the Vikings of Pleasant Grove are 1 out away from moving on to play Jordan one last time. We're going to send a pinch hitter for Jordan. And number 24, Seth Butterfield, is going to come to the plate and pinch hit here for Cody Davis. Butterfield was the designated hitter in yesterday's contest against Layton. And the pitch on its way. Swung on a one-hopper to second. Misplayed by Eldridge. And on is Butterfield here in the 7th inning. That ball was hit awfully hard, and it just took a bad hop on Eldridge. And now the tying run is on. We'll have a pinch runner as Cody Davis will now re-enter the game. Will now re-enter the game here as the runner at first with 2 outs, and it will be Parker Anderson slated to hit. Anderson on the night is 0 for 3. Anderson's grounded to the pitcher and then grounded out to third in both the 4th and the 5th inning. Ready to go. Peyton Henry set from the stretch. Davis gets his lead at first. The delivery home. Popped up. Over towards first. Blackhurst in foul ground is there. And he makes the catch. And Pleasant Grove has survived game 1 to defeat Jordan 4-3. They will force the if necessary game to follow in 20 to 30 minutes. And the winner of that will be the 2014 Class 5A Utah State Baseball Champion. As once again, our final score in this one, Pleasant Grove 4, Jordan 3. We'll have game 2 coming up in about a half hour or so from now. You've been listening to the 2014 Class 5A State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. I'm Ryan Pickens signing off for now. We'll have game 2 here coming up shortly on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.